bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
Well, Ronnie, what's up,
Oh.
brother?
How is it going with you? I'm great.
Well, I know why you're great. You are great because we are on live on a
Absolutely.
Monday with nothing extreme going
That's right.
on
Nothing major to cover.
other than just life in general. And so
Absolutely.
welcome to our followers. Welcome to those that are here. Maybe you don't know us. He's Ronnie. I'm Ed. And this is Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. We'll make this announcement multiple times tonight, but this is a new night. And the plan is for this new night to become a regular thing. We're going to try things for a couple weeks and see if we can handle the workload. But Ronnie, tell them the 3 nights and how that's going to work.
All right. Well, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I actually just posted join us tonight because we're changing things around a little bit. So Monday nights, I take the lead. I'm going to do my thing. Pastor Ed's going to be here. He's going to help me out. I don't want him to shut up. He's still going to talk. Tuesday nights, it's Red, White, and True normal. The original, our bread and butter, both of us together. And then Wednesday nights, Pastor Ed takes the lead. There it is. And I'll help out and shut up. So how about that?
Now, did you just tell me to shut up somehow?
No. I said I'll shut up.
Well, I heard that, but yeah, we are excited. We've been talking about things for a while. We want to bring more content, and now everybody should sit down when I say this, because I've told Ronnie numerous times that way in the past, like in 2008, 2009, and that for several years there, I did a audio podcast every night, every weeknight, every night at 9 p.m. until midnight. 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week. Oh boy, I was a whole lot younger then. And
I'm no spring chicken either, but I'd like to get to that point.
We wanted to bring more, and we've got an issue that's not a bad issue. We need some help, and so kind of one of the theories for the Monday and Wednesday nights, when we have one or the other of us that'll basically be leading the show, the other one will be kind of working as the producer. You know, you hear us a lot of times say things like, while we find this video, or we say, hopefully we'll cut down on those things with the other one working as the producer. But here's what we're looking for. We're looking for a helper, a person that would volunteer. That's a key word. Let me get that out there first, because
you'll get paid as much as I do.
And I do.
And and you too. You're not making any money either.
Well, yeah, we'll double.
Yeah, we'll double nothing, still nothing, but we'll count it.
Yeah, okay. And so we're looking for a producer now, not just anybody, because it's going to take somebody that will be able to coordinate with. When we say, the clip on AOC, kind of like this. Ronnie reads my mind so much.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like Ronnie would say, cut to that AOC.
Cut to AOC.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud.
I love when I can get that worked in so smoothly. Oh, that's great. But somebody who will be available, somebody who is I'm not going to say tech savvy, because I don't call myself tech savvy. Just somebody that we can work together with and be dependable. And, when we find the right person, we'll do that. Until we find the right person, we'll keep doing it the way we are. Because, Ronnie and I have big plans for Red, White, and True. And we're not going to bring somebody on board, even if it seems like it'll be helpful in the short term. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to find the right person that can help us out and help push us to the next level. Ronnie, what do you got to start with? And
all right,
I'll kind of.
Are you ready for me to take over?
You ready for you to take over?
Let's do this. Lord, help me taste my words before I spit them out to your glory. Let's go. All right. So I am starting out tonight talking about the shutdown, like always. The EBT shutdown. Let me get this pulled up as well, because this has been very helpful. See, this is why we need a producer. Shutdown, 33 days, 20 hours, 8 minutes, 27 seconds. Now, why is that important? Let's go to it. Let me pull it up here. When the lifeline is cut, snap, the shutdown, and the survival question. Everybody knows I'm a survivalist. Tonight on Red, White, and True, we're turning our survival lens inward, not into the wildness, but into the world of everyday Americans, families, and children. Folks living paycheck to paycheck, whose lifeline just got snapped. Because when the federal government shuts down, the lifeline called SNAP is in danger. Here's the factual background. With the ongoing federal government shutdown, thank you, Democrats, as it says on the bottom, courtesy of the Democrat Party, the United States Department of Agriculture warned that funding for SNAP benefits, the food assistance program that supports about 1 in 8 Americans, could run out. More than 42 million Americans, including children, elderly, and disabled, rely on SNAP to put groceries on the table. Some states are beginning to sound the alarm if the shutdown continues, and yet the administration is sitting on contingency funds, billions of dollars. That might be true. I'm not positive. Critics could cover the benefits, but the funding is tapped. However, the Trump administration on Monday said it will partially provide supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits, SNAP, this month after the program lapsed Saturday amid the government shutdown. A judge ordered Friday that Trump administration must use about $5.25 billion in emergency funds to release benefits for more than 40 million people. Still, this isn't enough to fully cover November benefits, which are expected to cost over $9 billion. Administration officials indicated to the judge Monday that they will not use federal dollars to fill the gap. Let's go ahead with shutdown one.
The Republicans and hate for Trump in particular ramps up.
The answer is they can fund it right now, okay? Right now.
They're really worried that there'll be some sort of a violent outbreak between the right and the left.
Johnson just lies. He lied about on immigration. He's lying about this. He just outright lies. Plain and simple.
It's not impossible that at least battles could break out.
We are saying the Republicans can fund it now, and they're using these people as hostages. Plain and simple. Next. That's the answer.
Because people are polarized, man, especially with this government shutdown. People are like, what the f?
Wait a minute. Excuse me. It is not a dispute. It is fact they can use it, and the Republicans say it.
These government people, a lot of them are living check to check.
There's enough money to start feeding people right away. $6 billion's a lot of money, and they're using it for other things. $20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here?
Some of those things that the government does, why does the government have to do it?
Just think, if they have all this money for Argentina, they have enough money to keep funding SNAP, and they know it.
Why can't it be privatized? It would probably run better if some of those things were not run by the government.
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns for a long period of time.
Wow. Food banks across the country are already under pressure. They're not built to absorb tens of millions of people who lose SNAP overnight. As a survivalist, I say this: your safety net is only as good as the weakest link. When the government uses hunger as leverage, that net snaps. Now, who in the government is using that leverage? The number 2 Democrat in the country just said a few weeks ago that is their only leverage. Think about it. It's not the Republicans doing this, the Democrats. Now, let's look at the politics behind this. The shutdown is a stalemate between parties. It always is. The tool they're playing with is our lives. Here's the hypocrisy. We're told we must trust the system, and yet the system fails. When benefits are cut, we're told this is necessary. Thousands go hungry while the fight goes on. And one expert commented, you can't withhold benefits just to gain power in negotiation. That's like refusing to send Social Security checks to pressure Congress. So while some in power argue about who's to blame, millions of Americans have to decide, feed my kids or pay the electricity. Do they buy groceries, medicine? That's not politics. That's survival. Now, as a woodsman and survivalist, I know the value of being prepared. You build redundancy, you maintain reserves, you don't rely on the unpredictable. But what about families who don't have that margin? SNAP for many is a reserve, that extra pack in your survival kit. When it's taken away, you're exposed and your buffer is gone. As a father, I think, if I can't get food for my kid, I'm counting on somebody else to fill my pantry. And they tell me, maybe later, I'm in trouble. That's a message tonight. The system is telling millions, maybe later, and that's unacceptable. So what should we do? First, if you know someone who relies on SNAP, check their benefits, stay informed. Some states are saying November may be delayed. It may happen, may not. Second, food banks and community services will be critical. Find them, volunteer, donate if you have the ability. Third, demand accountability. This isn't a game. When the Democrats use hunger as a bargaining chip, we all lose. Tonight, we've seen the shutdown isn't about politics. It's about children's lunchboxes. It's about survival. The lifeline called SNAP should never be held hostage. So let's go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry, real quick. The next one is, did anybody hear Donald Trump telling millions to eat dirt? Has anybody heard that? Am I just missing out here? If anybody else has heard that, please tell me, and I will eat my words. Go ahead with number 2.
Donald Trump has made the decision to let people across this country go hungry. Trump is telling 15 million hungry children, eat dirt. Trump is telling 1 million hungry vets, eat dirt. Trump is telling 8 million seniors who are hungry eat dirt. That is how much Donald Trump cares about the children, the veterans, the seniors, the people of this country.
I watch a lot of Trump, and I've never, ever, ever in this lifetime heard him tell anybody to eat dirt. That's ridiculous. What do you think, Pastor Ed?
Well, can that be any more ludicrous that the president of the United States is even implying that, much less saying that? That lady has zero credibility to start with, and she is now about 6 feet under on the credibility side.
Absolutely. And she lost it when she got the nickname Pocahontas, telling everybody she was Indian, took a blood test, and she's not.
And you can't. We've seen Schumer talking about everybody lying, and Johnson lies, and Trump lies, and everybody lies while he's lying to your face.
Absolutely.
And the same thing here is she's lying to your face. We talked last week about the fact that this is the Democrats' baby, and it's on them. And then they stand there and they just, it's ridiculous, Ronnie. It just is ridiculous. And we've got more videos.
Well, hang on a minute. I'm changing things around a little bit. So I hammered the government just a little bit ago pretty hard on the SNAP benefits and the kids going hungry. Now, there are a lot of needy kids going hungry. However, there are also these people.
This government shutdown, they telling me I can't use my EBT in November. I got 7 kids with 7 men. 7! And that's the taxpayer's responsibility.
An orange in the White House wants a ballroom for $3 billion. I don't get to eat.
God, please,
what?
No.
On a holiday though, you trying to up Thanksgiving for black people again?
That's a king's room. We don't need that. I need my food stamps.
Y'all, if they cut my EBT, I'm walking right out of them stores with every bit of them groceries. Ain't nobody stopping me.
Trump, I'm coming for your dome piece, bro.
We don't have a king. Kings need balls. We don't.
So there are also that type of people. What the first lady said, 7 kids by 7 different daddies. What the second lady said, that it's the taxpayer's responsibility. Are you kidding me? It is not my responsibility to feed you. Lord, let me taste my words before I spit them out. All right. So anything else, Pastor Ed, on the shutdown?
I had a person ask me today, do you think that the shutdown will end after tomorrow's elections? And Ronnie, I really have no feel for when this is going to end. I was reading an article about 10 minutes before we started about really the continuing resolution that they keep voting down is going to expire soon.
Yes. Yes.
If it wasn't officially, it is now.
It is now. Yes.
But it expires on the 21st.
Yeah.
And then we're right back where we were on October the 1st. And so they're talking about a couple of different things. They're talking about making a new CR that would last into January. So that, I wish they'd just get down to business and fix the budget.
You know, they're getting to the point where it's not just EBT. You got to think of federal employees. Federal employees, flight, air traffic controllers. We're getting into the busiest travel season of the year. And with no air traffic controllers, that's dangerous. You know, TSA, you know, a border patrol. You're not thinking about the government. Nobody's thinking about the government employees. It's just getting dangerous. So I would like to take this moment to say a quick prayer for everybody who's been affected by this government shutdown. So let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today and ask you to please put some sense into our government, into our leaders. Help them stop this shutdown, this unnecessary, ridiculous shutdown that's affecting so many people's lives. Lord, I pray for the safety and the comfort of those affected by the loss of their food stamp benefits, their health benefits, or their job working with no pay. Lord, please be with them, comfort them, and help the government come to some kind of conclusion, because this is crazy. We're hurting down here, Lord. In your name, I pray. Amen. All right. So take all politicians' paychecks and put it into EBT. I could not agree more. I think during a government shutdown, Congress, Senate, everybody shouldn't get their paychecks, just like air traffic controllers, border patrol agents, and everybody else. Whew. All right. So let's move on. I don't know if everybody noticed or everybody's seen yet, but they had Halloween at the White House, and it was very cute. It was amazing. But the best part of it is whoever is running the White House's TikTok. I encourage you to get TikTok, and I encourage you to like and follow the White House's TikTok, because they come up with some pretty great stuff. Play Halloween.
Something weird, and it don't look good. Who you gonna call?
Doesn't that just make you feel good? That I don't know. It makes me proud to be an American. So somebody in the White House is coming up with these. It's amazing. Can you play Halloween 1?
The nation stands still in the midnight glare. Congress is closed. No voices in there. As the Democrat shutdown leads to despair, their party leaders haunt Americans without a care.
That's just amazing. I would like to shake the hand of whoever is doing the Halloween. So does everybody remember it was a meme with JD Vance, big fat baby face and curly hair. So JD Vance decided that he was going to turn that around. Please play Halloween Vance.
Happy Halloween, kids. And remember, say thank you.
I actually saw many videos of butthurt liberals complaining about that, saying, "Oh, that's stupid. Look at what he's doing. He took that funny meme and turned it around." What do you think, boss?
Well, I think we didn't see any of this kind of stuff in the last White House administration. If they try, go ahead.
Can you imagine TikToks, from the Joe Biden administration? Joe Biden sitting there with a pudding cup asleep. Corn pot. Bad dude. I've got furry hair on my legs.
Well, earlier, she lives in Biden's our basement, talking about Pocahontas. Yeah. At least our side likes to have a little bit of fun.
Absolutely. Now, the next video I have, okay, so it's childish. It's kind of immature. It's funny, and it's poking at the left because the left can't meme. I got this one. Halloween funny.
He did the monster mash. It was
That was JD Vance had said that he would stop it with the sombrero memes if Hakeem Jeffries would end the shutdown. He has not, so the sombrero memes continue. A+. Thank you, White House, for the laugh.
Well, think about this. Jeffries is going to call out his thugs, I think, and whoop JD.
Oh yeah.
He got really upset.
He did. He honestly did. There was a lot of anger about that. But anyways, I didn't have any more videos for that. The White House Halloween was actually it was amazing. Donald Trump. There was actually kids. One was dressed up like Trump. One was dressed up like Melania, and the little boy was dressed up as a Secret Service agent. They had two children in a cart that come by as a McDonald's drive-through, and people still complained. Orange man bad. How can he spend all this money on this big Halloween display, and while people are starving? Now, if Donald Trump didn't do anything at the White House, then they would complain about that too. Democrat hypocrisy right there. Also, this whole thing with the ballroom, it's privately funded. A lot of it is being funded by Meta, so Facebook. People need to understand that. It has nothing to do with government federal dollars. So let King Trump, because King, let him have his ballroom.
Well, that just reminds me. A lot of liberals were saying, well, why is Trump out of the country during a shutdown? Well, first of all, it's not his shutdown. He can't do anything until Congress does what they got to do. And there were some pretty big things going on that trip.
Absolutely.
When the president of the United States meets with the leader of China, that's a pretty big deal.
And he was asked on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did it go? And he said on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best, it was a 12. Now, that's phenomenal right there.
And you look, Trump is a master at negotiating. I don't care if you hate his guts and he makes you want to vomit. To say he's not a master at negotiations, because when he goes to these places, they've been negotiated like crazy leading up to it.
Yeah.
And it's always just like icing on the top of the cake when he gets there, and billions or trillions of dollars. And people have and still talk about the tariffs, but those tariffs get people to the negotiation table. If it doesn't do anything else, it gets them to, say, well, let's take a look at this. And, it's power from his standpoint. And we're about halfway through. Do you want to do our news briefs?
Absolutely. Let's go to breaking news, headline news. Yes, headline news. You got it? I got it right here. All right. So, headline news. You want to go first there, Pap?
I can do it.
Do it.
We'll look. First one I've got is, if you remember a few weeks ago, the Michigan church attack.
Very bad. Very bad.
It was a Mormon area attack against Mormons. FBI is still investigating, but the motivation, as we probably all could have pretty much guessed, was anti-religious belief against the Mormon religion. To me, it doesn't matter what denomination, what religion, even the ones that I don't agree with, and there are a lot. I don't agree with a lot, but they don't deserve what happened to those Mormons in Michigan. And I hope that the investigation, investigations need to turn up as much information as they can and get that out to us so that we know what it is we're up against. Because if the bad guys will do that to the Mormons, then They'll do that to the Catholics. They'll do that to
They'll do that to anybody, any religion.
Yeah.
Anyone.
So, we need to continue to follow that story as it goes down the path. Now to you.
All right. The U.S. is now testing nuclear weapons. This came from Truth Social, Donald J. Trump, 10/29/25. The United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of our existing weapons. During my first term in office, because the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it. But I had no choice. Russia's second and China's a distant third, but we will be even within 5 years because other countries' testing programs. I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. It's crazy. To me, that's an unnecessary evil they have to deal with. Nuclear weapons. If you haven't done any research on nuclear weapons or technology, it's scary. It's dangerous. Just being far enough away and witnessing it, you will lose your eyesight. Radiation, burns, you name it. So let's pray that this goes smoothly. Pastor Ed, on you.
Well, with that, there's so many times their personalities were and are different, but Reagan and the nuclear threat from Russia at that time, China really wasn't a nuclear threat. It was us and Russia.
Yes.
And
it's always the duck and cover.
Yeah. We had to. I mean, this is my military time, Cold War. I served 80 to 84, right in the middle of the Cold War. And we basically just had to show Russia how bad we were. How, as in bad to the bone bad, not.
And we won that war.
We did. And technically we didn't fire a shot.
Nope.
We just showed that we're bigger and better than you, and we'll outspend you, and you'll go bankrupt. So you need to get in line, and you need to do the right thing. And that's what happened.
Absolutely.
Next story that I have is one that, if you've been around me for much time, back in the when we were on a couple of times a week with prayer and share, that the situation in Nigeria, we've talked about many times, and we've prayed on our prayer list for prayer and share. It's prayer for the persecuted church around the world. And you may have noticed that Donald Trump has been talking about that. Now, this isn't a new thing, and I'm actually going to go in depth either tomorrow or Wednesday on the numbers and the things that are going on. But this has been going on. Boko Haram started in 2009, I believe. Yes, 2009, with attacking Christians. Now, there are some people in the mainstream that want to downplay that a little bit because there have been attacks against Muslim communities as well. Just because Muslims attacked Muslims does not take out the fact that the majority of those being attacked and killed in Nigeria are Christians. And so we'll get deeper into that probably Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know why I keep saying Thursday. But as we look deeper into it, Donald Trump has threatened either boots on the ground, and he don't usually threaten that.
No.
It's usually, and these are Ed's words, not Trump's words, we'll blow you into smithereens.
Exactly.
And that's air power, right, Iran?
They showed you.
And but basically Trump has said enough's enough.
Yeah.
And if one of the biggest parts and problems is the government there in Nigeria, they just kind of turn their back and oh well, it's just a bunch of Christians. And so he has made foreign aid a situation there where he could pull just several things. And I'm thanking God, and we'll continue to pray that that situation gets straightened out.
Yeah, Christians don't go around killing Muslims just because they're Muslims. Makes no sense to me. It's a shame. All right, on to Venezuela news. The administration has identified military facilities in Venezuela used to smuggle narcotics as potential targets for an attack. Potential targets under administration are military-controlled airports and ports, including airstrips and naval facilities. The United States has not made final decision on whether to attack or not. But, like everybody else keeps saying, the United States is blowing up simple Venezuelan fishermen and just killing innocent people, on speedboats with 10 engines and pounds of drugs. They're just fishermen. Absolutely insanity. Back to you, Dad.
Well, we've some topics just don't go away, and drug trafficking by bad guys isn't going away anytime soon.
Venezuelan fishermen. They're fishermen with 10 engines on their ship and tons of fentanyl.
And they go so fast that they don't even need canopies or anything on their fishing boats.
They don't need any fishing.
The topic's not going to go away. I love when Hegseth talks about this topic.
Yes.
I think they've kind of instructed him, and I don't know who the directive came from, whether it was the president or Hegseth's handlers or what, but always when he talks about it, he says at the directive of the president or at the direction of the president, meaning that, it's not just him that's doing it. But when he starts comparing them to Al-Qaeda and we'll track you down, we will monitor, and then the last one is, and we will kill you. And that's what terrorists understand. That doesn't mean they're going to stop, but you think about Al-Qaeda. We killed and we killed and we killed, and eventually they get weaker.
Yeah, they stop.
So they don't have a choice in many of those things. My final story, this is more on the line of fun. If you are a wrestling fan, you probably know the name John Cena. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, you may know the name John Cena. John Cena has done amazing things in the ring. He's a record holder, held the title more times than anybody in history. And he's an amazing person out of the ring. He holds a record for the number of Make-A-Wish encounters that he has satisfied over the years. And he has announced his retirement at the end of 2025. His last match will be a televised match on a Saturday night's main event. And they are saying that Donald Trump may be at that match. If backstory there, actually Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He had some WrestleMania encounters many years ago, a long time ago. Him and Vince McMahon went at it, and they actually, and this is kind of off topic a little bit, say that Vince McMahon may be there. And if you know anything about that story, he kind of left disgraced. And but Vince McMahon being the husband of Linda McMahon, who has been part of both of Trump's administrations.
That's awesome. John Cena has also been in several movies. He's a very funny guy too.
Yeah,
very funny guy. All right, so I've actually got one small one and one that just popped up right before the show started. I wanted to cover it. 3-Eye Atlas. I've talked about it several times. It can now be seen from Earth with amateur telescope with good binoculars for roughly about 2 hours before dawn for the next 2 weeks. It can be visible near Venus. So 3-Eye Atlas come back around from the sun, and we see it now. A lot of people thought it was a spaceship. Aliens are coming to invade Earth. It's taken off back to wherever it's headed. It's not coming to Earth. So that's 3-Eye Atlas. Was this You Can't See Me?
I was a little slow with that. That's John Cena's catchphrase when he does that in front.
Yeah. Okay. I was more of the Rock fan myself, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Well, both they're very similar. They were in the same era of wrestling. They both went and made $8 billion in the movies.
Yes.
And every once in a while they go back and wrestle just because.
Yeah, just for S and giggles. All right, so here's my last story. A former TV anchor accused of stabbing her 80-year-old mother to death, telling people she did it to save herself. Former morning TV news anchor is behind bars after she allegedly stabbed her elderly mother to death. Angie Mock, 47, who previously anchored for Fox 2 News in St. Louis, was arrested Friday in Wichita, Kansas, after police say she killed her mother, 80-year-old Anita Avers, in the home they shared. When officers responded to the home around 7:50 a.m., they found Mock outside with cuts on her hands, according to Wichita police. Inside, they discovered Avers unresponsive in her bed with multiple stab wounds. Avers was rushed to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. I don't know why I wanted to share that. It came across, and it was like, wow, that's a crazy story. So
I read that story, and the thing that caught my eye was they showed pictures of back when she was a television newscaster, and she was thin, attractive, well kept, a typical TV news person.
Yeah.
And her mugshot, there is no way, even people that knew her would be able to say that is the same person. I mean, it's like they threw Marilyn Monroe and Lulu Roman up there. Let's see if anybody gets that reference.
I sure don't. I'm just laughing along.
Oh, that's fun. There's everybody's assignment. If you know Lulu Roman, you're going to laugh. If you don't know Lulu Roman, Google it and you'll see. But
yikes. I just Googled Lulu Roman.
Lulu was on Hee Haw.
I don't know if it's going to pick up, but that's pretty funny. Outstanding. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Headline News. How about a laugh? Anybody up for a laugh? Does anybody remember Karine Jean-Pierre, White House press secretary for the Biden administration? This video is a little bit longer, but I guarantee you'll laugh.
So Karine Jean-Pierre, not content to just let Kamala look like the dumbest one in the administration, writes her own book, or someone wrote her book. And, we've been talking on the show about how literally at every promotional appearance she makes, what is she telling people? I'm black, I am black, and queer too, don't forget my queerness. And in fact, we have that queued up just for those of you who have missed it. Here's a little tasting. This is just of her promo tour. This is not like going back in the archives. This is like literally in the last 7 days. Watch.
As a black woman, as a person who's also LGBTQ. As a black woman, I am a black woman, I am a queer woman, I am an immigrant. Being a black woman, as a black woman myself, that is the thing that I understood as a black woman, is that I meant a lot to people because of the communities that I represented. And whether it was women of color, black women, queer community, LGBTQ community, immigrant. And as a black woman, and I have my queerness too.
It's like talking to Glenn.
She's got her queerness. Right. Glenn also has his queerness. He never talks about it. Fine.
You know her race, by the way, Karine Jean-Pierre's
her race? Yeah.
She never talks about it.
Yeah,
she's very shy about it.
She doesn't like attention called to it.
She's Italian.
You're not going to believe this. Okay. This is the great Matt Taibbi exposes this. A few pages later, after this other part, Jean-Pierre described her feelings after Trump won re-election, saying she wasn't surprised at all because America was too racist and sexist to elect Kamala Harris. Finally, these are quotes, about 1 a.m., I tumbled into bed. When I woke up, it was over. Harris had lost. I received calls from friends who were distraught or numb with disbelief, but I wasn't surprised by the outcome. The truth was, I never really believed Harris could win. Well, I mean, none of us did, but she had different reasons. But I wasn't surprised, okay? I never believed she could win. I'd been in the body of a black woman all my life. She's changing it. I'm not just black, I'd been in the body of a black woman, which sounds a little dirty. That sounds a little naughty, doesn't it? Sounds like something a husband would say. She doesn't have a husband because of her queerness. I stood at the podium in the White House briefing room, traveled in my chocolate skin through rural areas, and all my experiences of blistering stares and racist assumptions left me unable to see this country electing a president who looked like me.
Oh, we miss cringe John Pierre. How about you?
Well, obviously she's still out there giving us material.
Well, yeah, because of her black and queerness.
How many times can you say that you are black?
You know, I never once in my life I've had to tell somebody I'm white. They get
it. and for those that say, well, look at you mean people, you make fun of her. No. That was her talking about her.
I mean, now, in my chocolate body, I've been inside a black woman my entire life. I mean, come on. That's her. We're not making fun of. We're laughing. I can't say we're laughing at her or with her because we are laughing at her. But well, I mean, I miss her press secretary. I'll circle back. That's a whole nother video. It's pretty funny. So. There you go. So, speaking of Kamala Harris, she just did 2 interviews, one with Australian News and one with Jon Stewart. If you would please play Harris' interview.
Former US Vice President Kamala Harris has fumbled through an Australian interview about Joe Biden's re-election as ABC's Sarah Ferguson pressed her on her campaign role.
A truncated calendar in terms of the clock.
I want to interrupt you because that is a world-class pivot, but it is not the question that I asked you. Are you still reluctant to criticize the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went on...
What exactly would you like to ask? Be more specific, if you don't mind.
Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate.
That was awkward. Harris then admitted it was reckless not to have opposed Biden's decision to run again.
She couldn't get by on the word salads like she usually... Oh, that was a big shark. That's kind of cool. She couldn't get by on her usual word salads. And of course, there she was trying to defend Joe Biden's frailties that we all, as the world shown, have a video about that here in a minute. Play Harris F-bomb.
Are you f***ing kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big hammer? What about those babies?
Right. That woman could have been the next president. That woman could be president right now. Right now. Where would we be with that as president? That's all we can say is thank the Lord above. She is not.
Well,
that was an interview with Jon Stewart, and even Jon Stewart was stunned by her choice of language in that. Now we've heard President Trump drop the F-bomb. I get it. We're all human. I do it once in a while, but that was on national television.
Well, that is Democrat way of doing things 101. Starving babies. Taking people's health care away.
Making them eat dirt.
Yeah. Taking a wrecking ball to the White House when it's like on a percentage, I bet it's not even 1% of the physical White House complex that they took the wrecking ball to. it's liberalism 101 to say he's making a ballroom for his friends.
Yeah.
When you can go back and see that they've wanted to have a ballroom there. He offered before he was ever president. What is it, Clinton? He offered to build one for, or maybe Obama, but
yeah,
he offered to pay for it, pay for all the architect work, all way back before he ever thought about running for president. And so, you know, we don't even have to make a special segment for liberal hypocrisy because it just shows its ugly side every single day.
In everything. I mean, in literally everything. So
starving babies
and them telling veterans to eat dirt.
Well, let me just say this. I'm going to editorialize here for just a second and I'll keep it brief. But yeah, and you're thinking you're a preacher. You don't keep nothing brief.
Yeah. I mean, come on. We got lunch in 2 hours. Let's go. Chop, chop, Pastor.
The church needs to step up. We at one of the churches I'm with have, and we probably will with the other, has started making a collection. And we're a small church, and we could take what we get to the food bank, but we want to choose who to support. First of all, there's a family in our congregation that we will probably support, especially if the EBT situation continues the way it's looking. But, you know, you've not mentioned, and I'm actually proud of you for not, but to me, I think it's somewhat of a distraction about all of the fraud and the waste. And you did sort of mention it with the joke about the 7 babies and 7 daddies and all. But see, you get around those kind of things when you choose who you're going to help. And
when you get to the real needy and the real people that don't get on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube and demand, I get where you're going with it. You know, the people who actually need it, that don't sit there and demand. And a lot of people go, oh, well, you know, get a job and all this. Some people have a job. It just, the money isn't there because you have to choose between, you know, paying your electricity or putting food on the table, buying your medicine or putting gas in your car. You know, you got to have gas in your car to go to work. A lot of these people work. You know, you got to have food in your belly so you don't pass out. You know, you got to have electricity so you don't sit in the dark. You know, it's just, it's not all of these demented people who are demanding it.
And when you know, bigger churches can pick, the bottom line is, don't depend on the government.
Yeah.
You know, I've said this way before. I've said this for probably my entire 22 years as a pastor. You know, welfare, when it went to the government, just went to pot. Maybe literally in that sometimes too. And the church could do it a whole lot better. But the church really has a hard time with doing that when the government is involved and doing it wrong. So, you know, I challenge you and your church, not you, because you're part of my church.
Yeah.
Not mine, but you know, the local body here.
I got it.
But if you're listening, challenge your church to take care of a family. If you can afford 3 families, you know, if you can afford whatever you can afford to do, make it hurt. You know, make a sacrifice. Give up your Starbucks for a day or a week or a month.
Not my Starbucks.
Yeah, we don't have to worry. See, I can say that because we don't do Starbucks.
Yeah, you know, I don't.
But we might do Dunkin' every once in a while.
I still haven't pulled the trigger on Dunkin'. I enjoy the coffee out the pot with some creamer. That's it. So
yeah, well, that's what we've been doing around this place.
What we've been doing,
but,
absolutely.
You know, everybody wants to say who the bad guy is on this. Well, I tell you what, just step up as an individual and be a good guy. You know, the government's always going to be the bad guy. It just is. There's no perfect government out there.
No.
There's no perfect government. And so instead of just sitting back and say that Christian conservatives are mean and they're hateful and they don't follow Jesus, and, you know, start throwing scriptures in my face, and just come and see the fruit. Okay. 2 weeks ago, sermon title, it's time to bear fruit.
Good sermon, by the way. Great sermon.
Thank you.
I even made it to lunch on time.
Yes, you did. So bear fruit. If all you can do is help one family, help that one family get through November, and then we'll go from there and see, do they still need help in December?
And you know, that's doing the right thing. Oh,
got it.
Barely within the time limit.
All right. Well, you finish your stuff off here. I'll go back to being Mr. Producer.
All right. So we didn't cover this. It was very big, and I wish we would have, but we just didn't have the time, and we're going to glance over it because we're approaching our hour. So there, I don't recall where. Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk was there, as was JD Vance. It was actually kind of awesome. This one's kind of long. We ain't going to play all of it. Play Vance along, please.
Pushing out policies that hurt us, and these policies are not even solving the problems. These policies are just creating chaos.
Ma'am. Okay, so again, I'm gonna finish answering the question, and then if I've answered all 9 of your questions in less than 15 minutes, then we can keep on going. We got to have a little fun, right? So here's the thing. I can believe that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country. But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States.
I'm just wondering, well, it's not necessarily something you did wrong, but it's what could someone else do wrong? Let's say we get a complete tyrant in office, and let's say Turning Point USA is having a huge protest against something really bad that we don't like, and let's say he's a president is saying that it's getting violent. How can we? I'm trying to think. My mind's kind of blank. What is the difference between what you're doing and how could we prevent someone from abusing that power?
Yeah. So look, I understand where the question is coming from, and I think it's a fair question. And it's going to sound like I'm being sarcastic, and it really is not meant in any offense. But when you talk about what could another administration do, to take a wild, hypothetical example totally off the top of my head, what if Joe Biden sent the Federal Bureau of Investigation to start arresting his political opponents? Okay? So here's something that I want every conservative to remember. It's an important part of my entire political philosophy is we cannot be afraid to do something because the left might do it in the future. The left is already going to do it regardless of whether we do it. That is the takeaway of the last 40 years. I think the premise of your question, I don't totally share it because I don't think perfect neutrality is possible. What is it?
I'm going to cut that off there just because it's pretty long. It goes on and on and on. But there is one more video that I have of that. I agree wholeheartedly. Please play Vance 48.
We're not even halfway done. So here's I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds awesome. let's not get ahead of ourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
Vance 48. I agree wholeheartedly, deeply in my heart. What do you say about that?
Well, I just liked his humbleness there. He could have started, 48, 48.
Yeah,
or,
absolutely. He could have started chanting too.
And let's not get ahead of ourselves. Some people probably think he's arrogant and those kind of things. I think he's confident.
Yeah.
And man, what a point he made to the one kid that was talking about other administrations how that they might do something, and he pointed it right back to Biden's and said, what if a president turned the Justice Department against their political enemies?
Yeah.
And that kid he's like, that's what I'm talking about right there. And I seen you back there,
Oh yeah.
And,
oh yeah.
The thing about the yelling 48 and everything, and he's right about not getting ahead of ourselves. But we also have to be very, very aware that a new election cycle is just right around the corner. I mean, tomorrow we've got the elections, and we didn't really cover that. We'll get that tomorrow.
We'll cover that tomorrow.
Yeah. The elections tomorrow, then it'll be no time till they're doing the 26 midterms. And once the 26 midterms are over, you're right into presidential.
Absolutely.
It used to be a year to a year and a half before the election. And now, as soon as the midterms are over, you're right in the next presidential election cycle. So,
and it's going to be a crazy one. I've seen so many different things for the Democrats. Kamala Harris, AOC and Kamala Harris. Who was the one from Texas we always roast? I can't. My mind's gone blank. Crockett, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, she's actually been good lately. So yeah, once we get past the midterms, it's going to go right back into it. But like JD Vance said, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just enjoy life the way it is right now. Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to cut us here. It's 8:02. I'm going to do this. So join us tomorrow for Red, White, and True. You also get a dose of the pastor's pulpit and Big Sexy here. Faith, Fire, Power, and Facts. Sorry, I had to do that because that's what everybody's been saying.
I was going to say, who calls you that?
Go back.
I was going to say, somebody after seeing that picture will throw a comment in there about Big Sexy. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. There's somebody. I don't know if they're still here or not, but yes. So thank you very much for joining us. I got one more prayer I want to say. Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for all your gifts. Thank you for my ability and Pastor Ed's ability to do this show, to speak loudly. Thank you for those that help us, that send information or type things up. Lord, we really appreciate every ounce of help we can get. Lord, I thank you for our viewership. They're the reason why we do this. People who sit there and just listen to Ed and I ramble and basically say what comes to our minds. That's one of the greatest things about this country, Lord, that, you pointed us in the right direction. So until tomorrow, Lord, I just want to say thank you. In your name I pray, amen. So, Ronnie, no, it's Big Sexy. Come on, Bill. Or is it Tanya tonight?
It could have been Tanya, and
Oh, okay.
Bill's probably pretty good with calling you Big Sexy.
He does every time, and I love it. I don't know.
Well, in the Beverly Hillbillies, Uncle Jed is always saying that he's going to have a long talk with Jethro.
Yes.
I may have to have a long talk with you about you being excited that Bill calls you Big Sexy. Big Sexy.
Well, so I when I was in high school, 20 years ago, I was in the drumline and marching band, and I don't remember what I did, but that was my nickname was Big Sexy there for a while. And then when I worked at the prison, many moons ago, there were a couple of guys that I had let skate on a stupid minor infraction. And I was walking through Walmart and I hear "Big Sexy," and I turn around and it was one of those guys from the prison. And so I don't know. I guess that's just kind of followed me around. So Big Sexy. I love it. I've had Big Sexy and Mr. Beef, but thank you everybody so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow right here, 7 o'clock, or as I put on my Facebook, 1900 hours. Be here for Red, White, and True. We'll have a whole lot more. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. And as the good man says, go out and do the right thing.
Right thing. I heard that in the background.
Thanks, Allison.
All right, let's get out of here.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us for today's live stream. This has been a presentation of Ed Boston Media.